Oh, yeah. There's powerful niggardry at work here.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
Well, y'all already know what time of the year it is. That time where niggardry gets to be turned up to 11 for 28 days. Or 29 in this case, since it's a leap year, so that's just an extra day of nigging. And this year, Black Animation Appreciation Month comes in stronger. I'm gonna be hitting y'all with so much black you won't even be able to stand anymore.
Pause. What the fuck?
Since last year we started off with black cartoon reviewers, I say it's only fair we keep it going with Volume 2. I got to talk with everyone on the first list, and I even featured them and even some of the new ones here on my channel. Now, there is one person in particular I couldn't really place a proper spot on this list since they're not really a reviewer, but they are a good brother among the community and who does some cool animations and parodies, so I say take a bow, Jake Neutron.
How very inappropriate, thank you.
You can find his channel here, so to start off, let's start with a strong face in the community with Awestruck Vox of the Round Table. A guy who pretty much made his hobby of talking about cartoons and made that his job with an official office building and everything. And if that ain't black excellence, I don't know what is. You gotta love seeing niggas rise up.
Wakanda forever!
He, along with his friends Tom and Nemo, do a variety of videos on which involve these theories about Steven Universe or other story-driven content.
After having the adorable itty-bitty chibi Steven for years, it was nice to finally see him grow up. However, is he growing up a bit too fast? If you've been around in the Steven Universe community lately, you may have noticed that Steven is now declared 17 years old as of the Steven Universe Future episode Snow Day. But what? Where did that come from? Nowhere in that episode does Steven state he's now a year older. So as far as we're concerned, he should still be 16. Well, that's where we look at context clues. The little Easter eggs and details in Steven Universe that indicates where we currently are in the timeline. Because I strongly believe that by the end of Steven Universe Future, Steven will officially be a legally adult by turning 18 years old.
He manages to find these little details about shows that honestly only a true fanatic would be able to find. Like just a single frame is enough to push out some content. Honestly, makes me question if he's black or human. But anyway, he and the crew at the Round Table run a good, clean ship. Vox has a fun and very welcoming personality whenever he's talking about something he truly cares about, so I say check them out. The next brother on this list is a deep analyzer, and that is Slice of Otaku. Now, yes, that name gives the vibes that he seems more like an anime expert, but trust me, he does more or less cartoons. Particularly story-driven cartoons like Steven Universe or Avatar, and the like. No love for Final Space, but it's fine. We're not all perfect.
Nigga.
Anyway, he does these deep looks at certain characters and how their arc has managed to evolve them past what we saw of them before.
Garnet was made to be the backbone of the Crystal Gem team and acted as a sort of safety net, keeping things from ever getting too out of hand. And with that, whenever she'd waver or falter, even if only slightly, we as the audience would be put on red alert because that was the easiest way to know when we were in the danger zone. So yeah, Garnet was probably the most put together of all the Crystal Gems, but things weren't always this way. I mean, just looking back on the first instance of her existence, and she is an entirely different gem.
Okay, I will address the elephant in the room. Him and Vox do sound very similar. You probably even think they're brothers, but they're not, and they do have distinguishable personalities from each other and approach their analysis in very different ways. So if you're looking for in-depth character analysis on story-driven shows, this is your guy. The next one on this list is one of our British brothers, and that's Storyteller. Oh, okay, look, it's not actually Huey Freeman though. He comes a bit close to him, minus the resting bitch face and the afro. At the hand of terrorism. But anyway, he's a guy who does these videos that analyze black culture in animation, particularly for stuff like the Boondocks. He doesn't have an avatar to represent him, much like Slice of Otaku, so you're gonna have to deal with this random footage of shows. Thanks a lot, but jokes aside, he always has some sort of deep analysis about the do's and don'ts of black representation with his Operation Black Steel series. Yes, that's what he calls it. He likes that name, he's not changing it.
I get it!
He actually talks about the best way to represent different people while still offering how to make them interesting.
There's a character in the show called Desmond, and they talk about this idea of eternity and people being interconnected.
People are prone to change, and our lives are limited. But this moment, us meeting, is a small ring. And each one of those rings continue to link like a chain that goes on forever. I believe that's what eternity is.
Is this fascinating idea that we're all interlinked by the connections we've made, the things that we've expressed, and most importantly, the art that we've created. Something I've been told before is this idea that we're all insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This almost nihilistic perspective of choosing to fight and die for your beliefs, to having convictions in what you're doing in spite of potential hardships, because it doesn't matter. You're gonna die, and you're gonna be forgotten anyway. People have lived thousands of years before you and been forgotten. But I think this perspective incentivizes apathy to our convictions and the impact our lives, and by extension, our art has on people.
He even has a great video that talks about how our society has a misunderstanding of sensitivity and that we perceive in a very misguided way when we claim everybody who speaks truth to power is just being overly emotional.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, man. No, I wasn't thinking about it when I did it.
Look, he brings a unique perspective on the idea of representation, is a major watch for anyone who wants to really think a little. Our next big homie on the list is a reviewer named Awkwardly Animated, who takes a deep look into certain shows and even movies, and also doesn't have an avatar on screen, so you're gonna get more random clips. Again. Thanks, guys. Seriously, I really enjoy having to just show random clips. But anyway, he gives his pretty honest opinions and first impressions, or just full-on reviews of a lot of stuff, more or less newer cartoons and shows. He manages to really look into the proper details of how that show is able to work.
Each episode is a bit formulaic, but it works. It never comes across as repetitive or unnecessary, and the only thing I feel doesn't age too well with the show is the overabundance of pop culture referencing. It's not like there is anything wrong with having that in your show, it's just that the majority of the A-plots and episodes are just straight up parodies of things that were popular at the time. You got your Harry Potter, your King Kong, Twilight, and hell, even Justin Bieber. Seeing a parody of these things in 2019 doesn't exactly make for the best jokes.
He looks into what works about a series and tell you how the structure of those shows or movies even hold up. He's soft-spoken in his approach that gives off a fairly calming vibe, so he definitely deserves much attention. Another one of our British brothers is What the Sheykh. He's not afraid to call the bullshit when he sees it. Like when it came to that stupid CalArts argument, which was coined by a pedophile by the way, he was very much strong in coming out after it. He even gives his initial impressions on things that generated some buzz, or he'll talk about what he officially thought of it when it's out, like Thundercats Roar. Which I'm just gonna tell y'all now, sums up my impressions of that show. Seriously, don't hold your breath on me making a video on it, it just ain't worth it.
Nothing really about it stuck out to me other than the fact that I didn't dislike it or like it. I think I had like 1 or 2 moments where I was like, hey, I like that bit of animation, or that background looks nice. But other than that, that was kind of it. The only thing negative I really have to say is that the pacing was kind of off, and Lionel's dumbness felt kind of forced, which sucks because a lot of stuff involving him revolves around the idea that he's dumb. But other than that, it's generally an inoffensive show.
He does good videos revolving around what makes certain aspects of animation important. His most notable is his Representation Matters video, which look at that, I'm in that one. But regardless of some obvious bias, I say you should check out his channel. Now this next round of people absolutely deserve more love with a lot of the effort they put into their content. They shouldn't be under 1,000 subs, I mean it, they shouldn't. And one of those major ones is Benji Johnson. He's an up-and-comer in the game who gives overviews and impressions of shows whenever they drop, and even takes things further by discussing what's happening with certain animation channels.
The channel's early years were kind of all over the place, but they put in the effort to make the channel work, something that many channels that would launch after Disney XD would fail at in some way or another. By 2012, however, the network truly hit its stride with the beginnings of a real golden age for the channel, which would last through the meat of the decade. Some of the channel's most memorable series, the Lab Rats franchise, Mighty Med, Kirby Buckets, Randy Cunningham, Pen Zero, you name it, came out of these formative years.
He goes into strong detail when he covers a topic of his interest, even giving details about ratings and the channel's downturn. He manages to be a bit thorough in his report and a little invested, I should say, about it.
The character explanations are self-deprecating and ironic from the get-go, which, combined with the nonchalant and rapid nature of how they're presented by the narrator, doesn't help in introducing these characters or making them pleasing to viewers. They're just like, hey, here's these characters, you're supposed to like them. Now run along now. It's like your new favorite show, but built into the show itself, making it even less endearing or justifiable. Both this show and this network have sunk to a brand new low, and we're not even a minute into this show.
Take it easy, it's just a drawing.
He just as well reviews shows whenever they drop and gives him impressions when trailers drop and full reviews once they've actually premiered. You feel a lot of the effort in his videos with his overviews, and he tries to keep a good consistency, so definitely give him a watch. You might actually learn something. Now, one that's pretty different from everyone here is the Wacky Deli. Look, you probably should expect at least one person on these lists to be an animal. Hell, we have a freaking duck, for goodness sake. So just think of him as dog nigga. What is wrong with you? Whatever. He does these videos that look into more obscure shows, stuff you could consider underrated. He's even a Pen Zero fan. Though he did side with Toonrific Tariq about Mike Luanog, so maybe he might have to be put down for that. Then again, he also recognized the goodness of the 7Ds, so, you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm betting y'all were thinking he was probably gonna sing the chorus, huh? Gotta keep you on your toes, don't I? But back to Deli, you do gotta appreciate those that can recognize the real ones.
If you have watched the 7D, then, you know, you probably understand this a bit better. If you haven't, I would recommend it. It is very funny. It's very engaging. And I like the lore that they've given to these versions of the dwarves. I just love it. But if you're not attached to it, I wouldn't blame you.
He can go in depth about the show's history, including some fun facts about whatever show he's talking about. He goes about his channel in a more essayist manner that can really inform you about whatever topic he's on. So definitely throw him a bone and check him out. Okay, so y'all might remember I called Verdis Joel the little brother of the black cartoon reviewers. Well, technically I lied. Chilexion is the little brother of the black cartoon reviewers. His channel focuses on just about many things animation related. He comes at them with a certain appreciation for the craft of animation with his brand of humor.
Thundercats roar, more like Thundercats bore. Let's begin with the first episode called Execute. Like the Pokemon, which most likely connects the show to the recent Pokemon Shield and Sword DLC with this guy. I don't know, he looks like a Thundercat. I don't know, I don't fucking watch cartoons. Anyway, this is where the Thundercats go after their planet exploded. Now this could be anywhere. The chances are that this is alluding to future plot developments. Now out of everything this could be, what does it look like? Yup, exactly, a Pokeball.
He has that strong sense of passion whenever he cares about certain topics, and you can hear it come through his voice.
And BoJack Horseman made me feel normal. Here I was thinking that these feelings were weird, and I was weird for feeling them. And there was a whole show under my nose with tons of characters that feel like this, in similar ways, in varying ways. And it's considered a great show. And I'm not saying that these feelings are healthy. If you can get help, get help. But for someone like me who really can't get professional help right now, it's nice to know that I'm not alone, especially in my favorite artistic form of all time. To put it bluntly, BoJack Horseman made me feel like it was okay to be sad.
He definitely can use some more subs, so give him a watch when you can. Now, there's a more unique channel out of the bunch called Hats Off Media with DeAngelo Edwards, where most have a simple avatar that just pretty much changes positions every now and then. He uses a cardboard puppet cutout. Pretty unique from other channels, especially with a great sense of production design. Though the tied up DJ definitely has me asking some questions. I don't kink shame, but still have my suspicions.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Now, that show is already a bit more mature than Pop-Up Girls, but how can we spice it up a bit more? Maybe we can add a little bit of, I don't know, dismemberment, gore, abortion, murder, infidelity, child abuse, suicide, possible grooming, possible rape, and allusions to incest. Yeah, I think we can call this comic a solid PG-13.
He talks pretty much about anything animation related. He does some design work with his drawing videos called Look Sketchy, where he just talks about his opinions off script and draws some good, well-made art, mostly revolving around redesigns. He definitely stands out among the rest, so give him a sub. Now, I know it feels like a sausage fest again, but there was another black female cartoon reviewer I was able to find, and that is Nanuro. She does these videos that really look into what works about an animated movie and is able to tell you how those aspects manage to pay off.
I recommend that you give this movie a watch to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of this movie and remember the end of Disney's traditional animation department. Maybe do a little research on Leah Chase to find out about the inspiration behind this film while you're at it.
She has a pretty bubbly personality that you can be engaged by that works well with her versatile knowledge of animation. You can be able to look in the history of certain things.
Walt Disney Animation Studios was cranking out a sequel to a movie that hardly anyone saw, now with 70% less charm than the original, the OG proof that Disney plus dinosaurs doesn't mix, a hip and cool animated buddy film that I actually have a bit of a soft spot for, the birth of my steampunk obsession, and a legitimately good and original film.
Though, don't let her personality fool you, she has haunted my nightmares with more, questionable content on her alt channels.
Genius with his penis, genius with his penis, genius with his penis, genius with his penis, genius. With his penis, genius with his penis, genius with.
But regardless, she has a strong love for the medium and definitely deserves far more attention. And you just gotta help our sisters out in this community, man. They're few and far between. You just need to appreciate our queens, damn it. Seriously. But moving on, I'm gonna be breaking my rules a bit because this last guy doesn't really do animation, but I don't care. He's fucking hilarious. I'm talking about Prim's Hood Cinema. He makes videos revolving around old black movies. He has a super dynamic way of tackling these movies that you will die laughing at.
Hey, I like what you did back there, but if you need me to... What? No, I'm just saying if you want me to do something for you, I'll do it.
Ew, bro, pause. What the fuck kind of shit is that to say to somebody? You don't even know him. Then he did the little finger motion and shit. Nigga trying to play with your butt, Curtis.
You trying to threaten me?
We'll be humping.
He manages to do a great balancing act of critiquing and just playing comedy. This man is able to pump out such fine quality, hilarious content. I mean, seriously, he is funny. The way he's able to tell you such great details about this movie and still keep an entertaining flow with it, it's just masterful.
Ew, fuck no. First off, this fucking hair, bro. I can't with the hair. And the dancing. And she got like a long ass face. I'm not trying to go in on this lady or nothing, but they high key playing this shit up like she's super bad or something. 90s bad, maybe. I disagree.
He has a more jagged editing style that actually manages to work with how he does his comedy. It's really amazing how he's able to be this funny and also be this good with his editing and have good timing. It is criminal that he doesn't have big subs right now, so go correct that and sub. Seriously, he's funny.
It's funny. It's good shit, man.
You see? Now go sub to him. Brother's putting out all this work and not getting no love. It just ain't right.
They should have never gave you niggas money. You don't know how to appreciate it.
But that's enough complaining. Go check out all these great channels. They offer unique voices in the animation reviewing game and the reviewing game in general and deserve all the support they can get. And that's it for this video. But stick around, there will be far more black excellence happening all month. And always remember, it's just a thought.
Thank you.